guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be breaking down all of the offseason of the NFL, specifically the players, free agency and trades, and all pickups from all 32 teams. So let's get right into it with the first team, the Arizona Cardinals, and they have picked up Sean Murphy-Bunting at cornerback, and Desmond Ridder with a trade from the Falcons is going to back up Kyler Murray. Those are the two biggest we've seen so far. So not much from them, but two okay pickups from them. Next team is the Falcons, and they've gotten quite a bit of players who are going to be very helpful. Starting off with the main one, Kirk Cousins at quarterback from the Vikings to Atlanta. Arguably the biggest free agency pickup. Because it's just big time for a quarterback to go team to team like that, like they just have for the Vikings to the Falcons. And Darnell Mooney at wide receiver will help a lot. They've been struggling over there, but that'll help for sure. And Rondale Moore with a trade from the Cardinals is big. Charlie Warner and Ray McLeod, two players from the Niners. And next team, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Big running back, Derrick Henry. That we happened a while ago, but still big for them. The Titans got a replacement. We'll see later on. But Derrick Henry is very, very hard to stop when you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and one of the best offensive lines. Try stopping a read option or triple option on them. It's just not going to happen. Imagine being Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator right now. You could have a lot of fun and experimenting with that. Next team, the Bills. Deion Dawkins, 3 years. And then also Taylor Rapp is going to be a good one, 3-year extension. So not much from them. They also got Curtis Samuel at wide receiver. That'll help losing Diggs and Gabe Davis, but still, that is just a decent free agency and trades for the Buffalo Bills. Next team, the Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers, Deontay Johnson traded to the Panthers. That is a big one for the Panthers that they desperately needed, and they got it. They also got Jadeveon Clowney, which is going to be good for them. And Troy Hill, J.J. Jansen, and Dan Jackson is going to be good. Next team is the Bears. And the Bears, I've had a very good free agency and trades. DeAndre Swift, Jalen Johnson resigned. But DeAndre Swift from the Eagles is going to be very helpful. I know the Eagles got Saquon, but still, DeAndre Swift is going to be big. And I also got Gerald Everett and Kevin Byard, who's been team to team since the Titans. And not to mention Keenan Allen, a trade with the Chargers. This is crazy for the Bears. They're looking very good for next season, and they still have the draft coming up, and I think we all know who they're getting. It's Caleb Williams. Next team, T. Higgins, re-signed for 1 year, $21.8 million. That's going to be helpful. Still got that receiving duo with him and Jamar Chase, so we'll see how that goes. They also got Mike Gesicki for 1 year. Tight end there, you're kind of struggling, but the draft is still up. We'll see if they get a new one. But Mike Gesicki is their replacement for 1 year, $3.25 million. Next team, the Browns. They've had a really good offseason so far. Zadarius Smith, 2 years, $23.5 million is big. Jameis Winston, I'm not sure the situation on Joe Flacco and Deshaun Watson, but another quarterback added to it is Jameis Winston, 1 year, just $4 million, but still. And a trade from the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver. We'll see how that one goes. And not much else from them. Nyheim Hines at running back. Him, Chubb, and Jerome Ford. Going to be 3 back there, tough to stop. And Kareem Hunt. So their running back room is filled with talent. Now the Cowboys, they've been sleeping ever since the playoffs started. And they're still sleeping right now. All they've had Eric Kendricks for 1 year, but not much else. So that is it for the Cowboys. Now the Broncos, and Will Lutz at kicker. And I think that's about all I can say. And I also just want to say this guy's name, Lil Jordan Humphrey, because it's a pretty cool name. It sounds like a rapper name, but it's actually not. It's Lil Jordan. Lil Jordan. Next team, the Detroit Lions. And the Lions, DJ Reader at defense tackle is going to help in that D-line with Aiden Hutchinson. Not much else from them. But next team is the Packers. Xavier McKinney at safety. I feel like it's going to be a big one. That Packers defense is really good. 3 Georgia players, Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker, and Eric Stokes. So they're like the mini Eagles with all the Georgia players. But they are really good. They also got Jair Alexander. Big defense for them. Watch out for them. And running back replacement for Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs coming in hot. And A.J. Dillon re-signed, so 2 good running backs for them. Now the Texans. They might have the best free agency trades. I know I'm probably going to say that with a lot of teams in this video, but the Texans, just so you know, you better watch out for them, because they got Joe Mixon from the Bengals, a trade from the Bengals. Dalton Schultz re-signed. Aziz Al-Shaair for 3 years. Jeff Okudah, Danielle Hunter, Desmond King, Tommy Townsend. Big for them all day, every day. And they also got, not to mention, Stephon Diggs at receiver. This team's going to be pretty hard to stop. Next team, the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. re-signed. Joe Flacco on the Colts now. So earlier when I said Joe Flacco, he's out. And Jameis Winston and Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson's probably going to start, but Jameis Winston as the second. But let's focus on right now. Joe Flacco, this is very interesting. 1 year, $8.7 million. I don't even know how many teams he's been on at this point in his long NFL career. He's like probably almost 40 years old. But Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco, I assume Anthony Richardson's going to start. But if not, like, what a mentor that Joe Flacco would be at his age for Anthony Richardson. Just, like, really going to be right there as pretty much a little quarterback coach. But, yeah. Next team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Receiver, another mid receiver that they have is going to be Gabe Davis. They also got re-signed Josh Allen for another year. Mac Jones, a trade from the Patriots. That makes it 100% clear that the Patriots taking a quarterback in the draft. They also got Darnell Savage, 3 years. Devin Duvernay. So they're looking good at receiver, and they extended Forsythe Oluokun. Next up, the Chiefs. And the Chiefs re-signed Chris Jones for 5 years, $160 million. And they did lose with Jerry Sneed, but it's okay. They also signed Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, and he is a big pickup because they need receivers. I think that's pretty clear. So, yeah, pretty good for the Chiefs. Next team, the Las Vegas Raiders, and Christian Wilkins, I think is a player people are sleeping on. 4 years, $110 million for Christian Wilkins. My gosh, he is a monster at the D-line. Next up, we got the Chargers. Gus Edwards at running back. I'm pretty sure replacing Eckler. I know Eckler's gone, but I don't know if what they're gonna do with the running back spot or just let Gus Edwards have it. So yeah, and they also got Hayden Hurst at tight end, so that'll be good for them. Losing Gerald Everett. Next up is the Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo for 1 year. Not sure what he's gonna do, but behind Matthew Stafford. 2 old people there, Kevin Dotson at offensive line. Not much for the Rams, but they've gotten a little good bench players, I might say. But yeah, next team, the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, Jonnu Smith at tight end. They also got Jordan Poyer, a safety. Just 1 year, $2 million. I'm not sure how that happened, but he's on the team. He's pretty good. Shaquille Barrett is now on the team. They also got a lot of signings. Kendall Fuller, 2 years, $16.5 million at quarterback. Minnesota Vikings now. Sam Darnold. Not sure if they're going to take a quarterback in the draft, but for now, Sam Darnold has the starting spot, so we'll see how that ends out. And also, Aaron Jones at running back, 1 year, $7 million. Now Josh Jacobs is in, and Aaron Jones out, and now he's on the Vikings. So a lot of running back switches, and we'll get to some later, but that's one of them. And we'll go to the next team. The New England Patriots. Hunter Henry re-signed. Kyle Duggar re-signed. Not much from them at all. Austin Hooper. KJ Osborne, though, at receiver. Not really much. They have a lot of players. Re-signed Kendrick Bourne, but just not much big-time players at all from the Patriots. And also losing players. They're going to be an interesting team to see in the future. Just have not had a good past couple of years, so let's keep an eye on them heading towards the draft. Now the Saints. They got Demario Davis for 2 years, Willie Gay Jr., 1 year, $5 million, Tyrann Mathieu, and the biggest one, Chase Young. He's going to be a monster in there. Oh yeah, now the Giants. Brian Burns, 5 years, $150 million after the trade from the Panthers. So that is going to be a big one. Big, big, big. Isaiah McKenzie, 1 year. Devin Singletary replacing Saquon for a little bit. So that's got a little good player, especially Brian Burns. But that's all for them. Now next up, the Jets. The Jets. Tyrod Taylor going to back up A-Rod or Zach Wilson, just get thrown into that little quarterback pile of that situation. And hopefully we can see Aaron Rodgers play a little more than like 5 snaps to see. That'd be nice. And now the Eagles. Saquon Barkley. I've been talking about him gone all video. But here it is. Saquon Barkley, 3 years, $37.75 million. Second highest paid running back in the league behind Christian McCaffrey. Big pick up for the Eagles. But hopefully he gets some more touchdowns because you can't let Saquon get a big run and get into the 1 yard line. He deserves a touchdown at the 1 yard line to punch it in. Don't do the tush push because Saquon would deserve it. Also, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jake Elliott, 4 years re-signed, and Kenny Pickett traded from the Steelers to back up Jalen Hurts, so we'll see that. Now the Steelers. Speaking of Steelers, Patrick Queen, at 3 years, $41 million. But now the quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I have no idea who's going to get the starting spot. I'm kind of rooting for Justin Fields or Russell. I don't know. I honestly don't really care. I'm not a Steelers fan, but I'd like to see who gets the starting spot. I think it'll be pretty interesting. But to me, it probably seems like it'll be Russ, but in the future, I think it'll be Justin Fields because he's a little bit younger. All right, next up, we got the 49ers. Leonard Floyd, 2 years, $24 million. Brandon Allen re-signed at quarterback, and Josh Dobbs 1 year, $2.25 million. So 2 quarterbacks. Not sure what that's going to do, but they have a good amount of signings, maybe 10, 15. But just not the biggest of players. The Seattle Seahawks, Leonard Williams, 3 years, $64.5 million. That is a big one for them that they desperately needed. Not much otherwise from them. So Seahawks, other than Leonard Williams, not much you need to be looking at. So yeah. Next up, the Buccaneers. Re-signed Baker Mayfield for $3 million, $115 million. Or 3 years, $115 million. Mike Evans, 2 years, $52 million. So 2 big re-signs for them. Also re-signed Levante David. So 3 big re-signs. And Antoine Whitfield Jr. Next team, the Titans, and you better keep an eye on them. They got Chidobe Awuzie. Wow, what a name. 3 years, $36 million at quarterback. Not just one lockdown corner. Also got L'Jarius Sneed, another lockdown corner. So that Titans secondary now is going to be loaded with those two corners. Also, replacement for Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, 3 years, $24 million. So that is a good one. And also 4 years, $92 million for Calvin Ridley. So I feel like they're looking pretty good with all of these so far. The Washington Commanders now up Austin Eckler at running back, Marcus Mariota, Jeremy Chin, Brandon McManus, Bobby Wagner. They have a lot of players. And I know I just said like 4 players, but they have like really 20 players that they've signed, just not big players. Also Zach Ertz. Yeah, they're going to be looking good. I already know that the Commanders are going to have a pretty good season. That's all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.